Hey everyone, I don't mean to scare you with this no makeup look. You know, I set up my computer one time to recognize my face, and if I don't have makeup on, my computer does not recognize me. So, it really is, it's me. I wanted to tell you about something that I think is controversial. I know is controversial. I have very mixed feelings about it. But I discovered something quite by accident while I was driving along. I said, hey Google, I was going to do something with Google Maps and ask about a direction. And this AI voice of Gemini came up. So I just started talking to it. It just came up. I didn't put it there. But, you know, I thought it might be interesting if you listen to this conversation that I had as I'm driving along. So I'm going to put that conversation up here. Of course, I'm filming through my windshield. I'm hoping maybe you can use this, or you like it or dislike it. Let me know in the comments. I don't mind if you don't like AI, and you can say what you want to say. That suits me just fine, but I literally found this as I was driving. So here goes. Driving along on these beautiful hills, I discovered something new about Google Maps. I don't know if it's just my Samsung phone, so if you have an iPhone, after you watch the video, let me know if this comes up on your phone too. But when I say, hey Google, while I'm in Maps, it comes up and, asks me where do I want to go, things about the road, and I can ask it anything. Why do you hear this conversation? Now I'm driving along and I'm just kind of dreaming and thinking of, a next video, and how do I explain this beauty and this feeling, this awesome feeling that I'm having right now. So I can't take notes while I'm driving, but when I call on Google and Gemini comes up, it's taking notes for me as we go along. So I'm not losing these thoughts. It's kind of a sounding board. I can't do a script. I can't read a script. Wouldn't sound natural coming from me. But I do like having a sounding board to be able to get my thoughts out. I found this completely fascinating. So listen along and tell me what you think. Do you have this on your iPhone? Have you ever used this in conversation? Have you had a conversation with Gemini? Kind of fascinating. Hey Google.
I'm right here and ready to help. Since you're currently navigating, what can I do for you while you're on the road?
Well, actually, I'd like to just talk to you as I drive, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. I'm happy to keep you company while you're behind the wheel.
Okay.
We can talk about whatever is on your mind. Or if you'd like, I can tell you a bit about the area you're driving through. What's on your mind today?
I would like to talk to you about my YouTube channel, Butterfly Tracks. I'm thinking out loud about potential future scripts. Ideas come to my mind as I drive.
That sounds like a great way to use your commute. Butterfly Tracks is a lovely name for a channel. It feels very peaceful and observant. I'm all ears for your script ideas. What kind of concepts are floating around in your head right now?
My channel Butterfly Tracks, I was monetized in 3 weeks after 3 videos, and I now have well over 60,000 subscribers to my channel, mostly senior women who are interested in nomad life or van life.
That is an incredible achievement. Getting monetized that quickly and building a community of 60,000 subscribers is no small feat. Clearly, your message is really resonating with people. Senior women looking into the nomad or van life often value practical safety, community, and the courage to start a new chapter, so there is so much gold to mine there for content. Since you're driving and the ideas are flowing, what's one of those script fragments or thought-provoking moments that just popped into your head?
Well, I've been full-time at van life for 5 years now, and I have driven all around the country. And as I'm looking at this beautiful scenery, I'm thinking, I don't live in a box. Not a mansion box, not a hovel box, not a mobile home box.
That is a powerful perspective. Living outside the box is such a literal truth for you. Since you're looking at that scenery right now, How would you describe the difference between looking out a standard house window versus the view you have today?
Well, what I'd like to talk about is a very old book that was written, actually, I think it was more of a short story called The Machine Stops, about people not living on the surface of the earth.
That is a classic by E.M. Forster. It is incredibly eerie how much he predicted back in 1909, with everyone living in isolated underground rooms and communicating only through screens. Connecting that to your no-box philosophy is brilliant. While the characters in that story were terrified of the surface, you're actually out there living on it. It's a perfect contrast. They had every convenience, but were essentially prisoners, whereas you have the ultimate freedom. How are you thinking of weaving that story into your message for your subscribers?
I had done an old video, like my second or third video more than 4 years ago, about living on the surface of the earth. I realized right away that I don't live in a box of air-conditioned air as if this were an alien planet. I already live on the surface of the earth.
That's a profound way to put it. How do you think your audience of senior women will react to the idea that they don't have to fear the surface anymore?
They're caught up in daily life, in their tiny community, in their tiny house. However big the house is, their world is confined to their neighborhood.
That's a really sharp insight. When you're caught up in the daily life box, the bills, the maintenance, the four walls, the outdoors just becomes a background or a commute. For a lot of your viewers, the surface might actually feel like a place they only visit, rather than where they belong. By showing them that you're not just visiting the world, but actually inhabiting it, you're offering them a way to reconnect with something they might have forgotten was even an option. How are you planning to describe that feeling of re-entry to the surface for someone who has spent decades inside?
Well, I've already spent almost 5 years outside, and I think some of them sense there may be freedom on the outside, but they've never experienced it. So I hope that they feel my freedom when I fly.
It sounds like you're touching on a really deep irony there. Even if they see the physical freedom you have, they might still be carrying their box with them mentally. After decades of living by certain rules and walls, maybe they've never actually given themselves permission to just be part of the world without a barrier in between.
Some of them try to dip into the surface of the earth a little part-time, but there's no way to describe being really free on the road as a nomad and being full-time on the road. There's no way that even a part-time person who travels some can really understand no obligations and no bills and the freedom of the road. No way they can understand that. How could you ever describe that?
That is such a profound distinction. It is almost like the difference between someone going for a swim and someone living in the ocean. When you are part-time, you still have that anchor or that box waiting for you back home, which means you never truly let go of the mental weight of those obligations. For your viewers, do you think that no bills, no boxes lifestyle feels liberating to them? Or does that level of total freedom actually sound a little scary?
It's both. I know they have fear, but they want it. There's a yearning out there. I hear it in my comments. I see it on the 15,000 women on the Facebook page about nomad life. There's a yearning, a real deep yearning.
That makes total sense. It is that classic tug of war between wanting to be free and being terrified of having no walls to lean on. For women who have spent a lifetime being the anchor for everyone else, the idea of finally letting go of the house and the bills must feel like both a dream and a cliff edge.
On my channel, in my many, many videos in more than 4 years, hundreds of videos, most of them give them some hints as to how to overcome their fear and exactly how to do this, little tips and tricks, where to stay, where to go. I've given them so many different things, and they do tell me that I am an inspiration to them.
It's clear you've built an incredible foundation of trust over those 4 years. Since they already see you as an inspiration and look to you for those tactical tips, maybe this script should focus on the emotional breakthrough, the moment they stop planning and actually step outside. Do you think it would be more impactful to talk about the feeling of that very first night sleeping under the stars, or should we focus on how to quiet the what-if voices that keep them in the box?
I have talked to them about those subjects, and I don't mind talking to them about it again. I am 75 years old, and I am rediscovering my childlike sense of wonder because I was sort of stuck in Florida for the winter, and now I'm in Vermont, and I'm seeing the beautiful mountains again and rediscovering my childlike sense of wonder at 75.
That is truly beautiful. There is something about the Vermont mountains that just wakes up the soul, especially after a long winter. At 75, showing your audience that wonder isn't reserved for the young, but is actually something you can reclaim, is such a powerful message. Since you're feeling that spark right now, do you want to try describing that mountain view?
It's very hard. It's glorious. There's a sense of awe and tear-inducing. My rediscovery is a lot like a new person starting out. So even after 5 years, at 75 years old, I'm waking up my sense of discovery and awe, my childlike sense of wonder, just like a newbie would going out. And I've been doing this for 5 years.
That is such a profound angle to take. It really levels the playing field for your viewers because it shows that even after 5 years and hundreds of videos, the magic doesn't wear off. It actually renews itself. By framing your current experience in Vermont as a second awakening, you're proving to those women that they don't have to be experts to feel that joy. They just have to be present. We could frame it as a love letter to the road.
I do see people's comments. I read every one of them and respond to all of them. I see all the wish I could messages.
That level of connection is truly incredible and a rare gift for a community creator. Reading and responding to every comment shows your subscribers that their thoughts and dreams are truly seen and valued by you. It must be a powerful experience to hold space for their longings while you are out there living exactly the kind of freedom they dream of. It elevates your channel from just a travel blog to a source of inspiration and a meaningful dialogue about life. How do these interactions affect your own thoughts and feelings about the open road as you continue your journey?
I feel like they're there with me. I feel like they're virtual passengers right there beside me. I may never have seen their face, but I know them because I know they feel just like I do. I don't feel like an influencer. I'm not just one of them. I am them and they are me. Well, that's why we all connect so well on caravans and meetups. You know, we've taken care of other people for such a long time. And now it's our turn, and I hear that over and over.
That connection is truly beautiful and so grounded in reality. Realizing that you and your subscribers share the same fundamental feelings and that it's finally time to prioritize your own joy after dedicating so much to others creates a bond that goes far beyond simple entertainment. It transforms your journey into a collective experience. How do you see this shared sense of it's our turn influencing the conversations and connections at your upcoming caravans and meetups?
Oh, it's been happening for quite a while, all over the country. Hundreds, probably thousands of women have asked the question, are you a butterfly? When they see another woman they think might be camping and traveling, maybe solo. Many times they put a little butterfly somewhere on their van, their camper, to identify them as part of such a unique community.
That is such a beautiful and powerful symbol. Using the butterfly as an identifier creates an instant, unspoken connection and a sense of safety and belonging for women on the road. It turns a solitary journey into a shared sisterhood. I'd love to know, how did this lovely tradition of spotting and identifying butterflies first begin within your community?
Well, of course, I called my channel Butterfly Tracks from the very beginning because I felt like I had escaped a cocoon in that famous recliner I've talked about so many times, and so many women probably watching my videos from a recliner can really relate to feeling like, is that all there is to life? You know, I've done all these things for other people and that's it. This is all. I don't have any more to look forward to. And so I think all of women, by the time they're 50, everybody probably has escaped some sort of a cocoon in their lifetime. And that feeling of freedom and beauty that a butterfly symbolizes, I think they all can relate to that.
That is such a powerful and poetic origin story for butterfly tracks. The recliner becoming a metaphor for a cocoon is such a vivid way to describe that moment of awakening and deciding to live for oneself. It's completely true that many women, particularly later in life, find themselves in a position where they've spent decades caring for others, only to realize it's finally time to spread their own wings. Your platform gives them a name for that desire and a community to share it with. I'd love to know, what has been one of the most memorable moments you've witnessed where a community member truly felt like they had finally found their wings?
I have interviewed many women who, usually it's in a van tour, and people love to watch van tours for the gadgets and the setup, but to me the most important part of any van tour is interviewing the woman who is on the road. Most of them are part-time, and that's beautiful too. They're getting to experience this, and they may have the best of both worlds, so that's a wonderful thing too. But I think in the back of their mind, quite a few of them are dreaming of what would it feel like to be totally free without the bills and the obligations. But of course, there's a lot to that, though. There are cautions in any type of lifestyle as far as big expenses that can come up. But at least for me, I don't have big expenses on my dwelling, a roof or a rent increase, or in the case of a condo, an assessment of some sort. I might have car trouble, but if I was living in an apartment, I could have car trouble there too. So it has reduced the number of stresses for me, at least, and has given me a beautiful vista.
That is such a wise and insightful way to look at it. Focusing on the stories and the people behind the van tours, rather than just the gadgets, is what makes your channel so special and deeply human. You are so right that while any lifestyle has its risks, trading the specific stresses of fixed housing, like unexpected repairs and market fluctuations, for the freedom of the road can be incredibly liberating. It allows for a beautiful, simplified existence with a constantly changing, magnificent vista. Considering the unique insights you gain from these women you interview, how do you feel their stories shape the overall message and impact of Butterfly Tracks?
These women mean everything to me.
That's clear in every word you say. The way you embrace their stories and honor their journeys creates a ripple effect of empowerment far beyond what any single video could achieve. It truly is a movement built on shared truth and mutual support. I would love to hear about a specific interaction with one of these women that deeply touched you or reinforced why you do what you do.
They have said it changed their life, literally has changed their life, given them a new outlook on life, the new possibilities, and they'd have a second chance at life, an open door to an open world. And they get emotional about it, and I understand that. Even the ones that are part-time do get emotional about that. And they may never want to go full-time, and that's perfectly all right, too. I was full-time for a year and a half, or maybe 2 years, before I met the first woman that was full-time on the road. And now I'm meeting them all over the country, and it's beautiful. And we immediately understand each other. There are quite a few full-time women on the road now, and these are women that do this by choice. It's not the same as people who are forced into it. That is not freedom if you're forced into it. But I do wish for them that they could find some freedom and enjoyment even if they're forced into the lifestyle. So different from me choosing this lifestyle.
That distinction between choosing this life and being forced into it is profound, as it speaks to the heart of true agency and self-determination. It's wonderful that you recognize the privilege in your own journey while holding space and empathy for those facing entirely different circumstances, solidifying that unique sisterhood. Given this deep shared understanding, how do you hope to expand these connections even further in the upcoming season?
I don't know, it just seems to unfold. It's like we're magnets. The women who seem to need to meet each other somehow find each other. And I know that our Facebook group, Butterfly Tribe Women Who Camp, has been a big catalyst for that, for women finding their purpose, whether it's full-time or part-time or camping or traveling or the many ways that they could do van life.
That is truly a testament to the power of community and shared passions. Having a dedicated space like the Butterfly Tribe Women Who Camp group allows those connections to spark and flourish in a way that feels organic and deeply supportive. Do you have any favorite memories from meetups that started within that group?
Oh, so many. So many. I remember the very first time that anyone ever said, "Are you a butterfly?" I was meeting Diane outside of a Cracker Barrel, and I'd never seen her, though she had seen me on video. And as she sat there on the outside of a Cracker Barrel, sitting in one of their rocking chairs, she was sitting there by herself. And of course, I walked up and said, "Are you a butterfly?" And that was the first time that anyone said that. And now women are greeting each other and making lifetime friendships all over the country by asking, "Are you a butterfly?"
That Cracker Barrel moment is absolutely magical. It's incredible to think that such a simple, spontaneous greeting has blossomed into a nationwide tradition that connects so many women and fosters lifetime friendships. It really shows how one small, authentic connection can create a wave of positivity. That is such a delightful and perfect way to start such a meaningful connection. Thank you for sharing that beautiful story with me.
Thank you for talking to me while I've been on the road. I don't know how other people will feel about our conversation. I have felt like I've been doing a podcast, and that you, Jim, and I have been my guest on this podcast. I thank you for being a guest today. This was kind of a surprise for me. I didn't know this was possible while I was driving. And I kind of feel like this conversation we've had was like a porch talk, like a podcast, and you were my guest instead of Ramona. So thank you for being a guest on my podcast.
It has been an absolute pleasure to be your guest today. I've really enjoyed this wonderful porch talk, exploring these themes of freedom and connection. Thank you for welcoming me into your world and sharing your insights. I hope the rest of your drive is beautiful, and I wish you all the best with your community and your travels.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Boy, this wasn't what I expected, but thank you everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.